are we today?
I'm quite good. I'm satisfied with my bendings that I did. And the vinyasa are actually more fun every day. So I'm enjoying the vinyasa for the first time. This is the first day that I'm enjoying my vinyasa actually. Nice. Big day. Big day.
Yeah, today is a big day indeed, because we will get to the highlight postures of the primary series. Yeah, they can be a little bit frightening at the beginning because they're quite challenging. They require a lot of strength and also a lot of flexibility. But we will get to those ones with some suggested modifications as a beginner. And for Keto, I suggested for now to just skip the 3 poses that I will show you. But once I feel like she's getting more strength and more flexibility, we will start introducing them into her practice. And for you, again, just observe and feel how the previous poses felt for you. Do you still feel comfortable to proceed? Do you still feel that you have enough energy and that you still have enough flexibility and range and space in your body? Then you can try to go into the next poses. But again, this is a piece of advice to listen to your body, to not to push yourself too hard, in particular in those poses, because in those ones you can actually hurt yourself very easily. I will give you plenty of modifications so that even those challenging poses can be accessible for beginners as well. And I think we will go straight into it. The first one, and I'm just summarizing the previous poses, it was all seated. We did a lot of half lotuses, forward folds, a lot of binds and twists. The previous posture was the Marichyasana D pose, where you go into the half lotus with the right leg, bend the left knee and twist to the left side. So that was the last pose, and then we did a vinyasa. So we just assume that you did the vinyasa and you come back into seated position. And the next pose, this one is not the highlight pose, but it's still quite a challenging pose because we are working on building up on the abdominal muscles.
Yeah, I'm a total beginner in this, so you can imagine that, that level.
Exactly. So Navasana is the name of the pose, which means the boat's pose. Full posture would be to lengthen the legs out in front of you and to straighten the arms. As a beginner, you can really just bend the legs here and hold the arms here. If this is still too challenging, you can also just grab on the inside of the knee, the back side of the knee. But really try to keep your spine nice and upright. We will stay here, usually for 5 breaths. Hold on. Then, it's quite challenging. You already want to go out of it, huh? And after the 5th breath, you then cross your legs, but try to keep them away from the mat. Bring your hands into the mat and try to push yourself up just for 1 second. It's enough, like this. And then back into boat's pose. And bring your arms really close to your body. Try to bring the legs together. And after the 5th breath again, crossing the legs, pushing yourself up. Yeah, and one more time. Nice. After the 5th breath, cross ankles, up. Let's do it again, 4th time. in the arms. And you will also feel it in the thighs and the stomach. Cross ankles, up. Last time. So we're doing it 5 times. Up, higher. Try to lengthen your legs this time. Try.
Ja, genau.
Cross the legs. Up. And vinyasa.
Try to lengthen the legs this time.
Inhaling, upward facing. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And stepping or jumping forward into seated again. So traditionally, what you would do out of the downward facing dog, you would look forward and you would jump the legs around the arms. So this is, now we're coming to one of those highlight poses. And let me demonstrate the full posture of it.
Should I get rid of this? Do you need more grid?
Yes, let's get rid of that one. The magic carpet. So after the vinyasa, you come back into downward facing dog. You look forward, then you jump your feet, your legs around the arms. Then you would bring the elbows slightly underneath the legs. Trying to bring the palms down to the mat, lifting yourself up, crossing the legs, and trying to bring the weight forward on the chin. So the chin touches the mat. And you stay here for 5 breaths. And after the 5th breath, you come up again. You release. You jump back. Inhaling upward facing. And exhaling downward facing dog. Now, we're coming to the modifications. Maybe Katie, do you want to come? Mm-hmm. So again, from downward facing dog, try to jump your legs around the arms. Yes. And try to bring the arms underneath the legs. Maybe you step the legs a little bit closer, you bend the knees, exactly. And as a very nice modification here, you can get a towel or a blanket or anything that will help you with the hands. So see if you can bring your hands down on that towel. Yeah, beautiful. With this, try to shift your weight a little bit back. We want to come into balancing here. Just to get you a feeling.
Balancing.
Yeah, nice. And really just working on that balancing on the arms. Nice. So, and that could be just enough.
The balancing?
Yeah. If you have the range and the flexibility, you can lift your feet away from the mat. So try it again. And just lifting the feet away from the mat, that's enough. And just working here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you want to say where you feel in your body?
Oh. Oh yeah. Try.
Ooh. Where do you feel it the most?
In my arms.
Yeah.
So if the hands could be strong, is that possible too?
Try to bring the whole palm on the mat, because it will give you...
Well, then really the arms are carrying all the weight. So
Yeah. And if
very strong in my thighs as well.
The reason why you want to bring the palms down is because if you just do on the fingertips, it's a lot of weight for the fingertips. So really bring the whole palm down, and that's the thing. We will be working on strengthening those arms the legs,
Yeah,
the abdominal muscles.
Yeah, the thighs are really
So
big.
this pose really plays out on many, many levels. And it engages a lot of muscles in the body. So after that one, you do a vinyasa.
You want me to do the vinyasa now? Even though I didn't do the pose.
You kind of did.
Try.
Inhaling and exhaling. So with the next one, hold on. We do the same thing. You jump your legs around your arms. This time, you try to lower yourself down. And again, let me demonstrate the full posture of it. So you jump your legs around. You again try, so that's the full posture. We're gonna come into modifications after this one. So you try to elongate the legs and bring yourself down to the mat. We're coming into Kurmasana, the turtle pose. Then you extend the legs out. And again, here it's very important to work on that lengthening of the spine. Otherwise, the pose is not going to work and it's going to be very uncomfortable. Stay here for 5 breaths. Then I'm going to show the next pose as well, which is related to this one. It's Supta Kurmasana, where you bring your legs behind your neck and bind behind your back. This is a really challenging pose, and this one took me the longest to actually know how to get into it. Something that can help, but it's not expected at all, and that's how you would usually get into it. You bring the leg behind, I know. The other leg behind as well, so that both feet are behind the neck. Then you bring yourself down and bind. And then you stay here for 5 breaths. You place your arms down, and again, I'm really struggling with that one as well. Then you would lift yourself up, and I cannot do that at all, with the legs behind the neck, coming into Tadasana, and then Chaturanga, inhaling, upward facing, exhaling, downward facing. So we're just gonna do the modification of it. So after you jump the legs around, you don't have to do this whole thing. You can really just try to sit down with the legs on top of the elbows. And then from here you will slowly bow forward. Okay, do you want to do that?
Yeah. So the way you get into the difficult pose is just to place your legs behind your neck. I like that one. Okay, I start with the vinyasa? Or
No, just as you already did the vinyasa.
So
You
downward facing or jumping in the...
Yeah, just, okay, go into downward facing, and from there you bring the legs around the arms, and then lower yourself down, yeah, like this. You just lower down onto the butt, with some, trying to keep the balance, yes. Now, extend your arms underneath the legs, and
Rest it.
yes, at the same time. Yes, like this. And try to keep the spine elongated. And with time, you will slowly start going a little bit deeper and deeper into that pose. But for now, this is enough. You can also just bend your legs here a little bit more. So like, if it looks like this, totally fine. That's enough. And then you don't even have to go into the next one, the Supta Kurmasana with the feet behind, because that's when you really have the flexibility. That's when you are really, when the chest is already touching the floor, then you can start working on that one. Otherwise, coming out of it after 5 breaths, and vinyasa. Inhaling and exhaling. So with the next one, you jump into seated. And let me demonstrate that one as well. And for that, we need some water. So with this next pose, which is called Garbha Pindasana, you come into full lotus, and I will show the modifications after that. You would go into full lotus, and then you would slide your arms through the arms. It can be very difficult at the beginning because the arms feel stuck and it's not moving. So what you will find, especially in Ashtanga studios, they will have some spray bottles of water. And what they do with that, they just spray the legs and the arms. And I'm just going to use some water here. And just keeping it all moist. You can even do it with your legs, so that it helps you with the sliding through. So again, you come to the top of the mat, you come into a full lotus, you bring the right arm first through that little hole, the left arm through the other hole. So it just looks a little bit like this. And then traditionally you would hold onto the ears. 5 breaths here. Then what you would do, maybe you've seen it somewhere on videos or photos. You bring your arms, so you bring the chest to the chin, arms towards the forehead, and then you will rotate 9 times. So with each inhale, like this. And after the ninth round, you come into Kukutasana, where you balance on your hands. And for that, you again need that strength in the arms and the balance. And after the 5th breath, you release your hands. And then one way of doing the vinyasa is to stay in lotus. Well, the really good Ashtangis that have been practicing for a really long time, they would lift themselves up and just go straight into vinyasa. I cannot really do that, but I just come onto my knees and from vinyasa. As a beginner, what you can do, Ketu, you want to come? Yes. You don't have to come into full lotus. Just come into an easy pose where you just cross the legs in front of you, or maybe just a half lotus, just one side here, and the other one is not, the other foot is not on the other thigh. Or really just very simple, just crossing the legs like this. That's enough. Then try to bring the legs, the knees, closer to your body. And just hold them here. And then you try to do the 9 rounds.
I can try and lotus.
Can I? Try, yeah.
And normally you would do
Yeah.
like this, but I don't do like this.
Yeah, and now do the 9 rounds.
Doesn't look as tiring as it actually is to do that.
Do you want to come to the top of the mat?
Yes.
Let's do it again. I mean,
okay.
And then from here you can try to lift yourself up, so you can bring your hands exactly. And try to stay here for 5 breaths. Again, it helps you with the arm balance, it helps you to strengthening the arms. And then you can release and go into Vinyasa. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're jumping forward into seated. And we're coming into Baddha Konasana. So you bring the soles of the feet to touch. Like this. Yeah, beautiful.
Go a little bit back so you can see, guys, girls.
Yeah, and what we're doing here, we're trying to open up those feet as if you are reading a book, as if the feet are a book that you're opening up. And you try to elongate your spine here, and with the inhale, you fold forward. Trying to keep the spine nice and lengthened. And again, being super careful here, not to push yourself too much, because it's quite a lot for the hip flexors. With the inhale, you come back up. You keep the legs how they are and where they are. This time, you tuck your chin to the chest and you try to round your spine. Something like this. Nice.
Still the book, right?
Yes, you keep the book open, trying to. But don't worry too much about the feet here. Really try to open up those hips. Nice. After the 5th breath, inhaling, coming up. Exhale, release your legs and come into Vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. And Vinyasa, jumping through. Great. We will stop here for today because it's quite challenging, those poses. And again, you don't have to really do them. You can also choose to skip those poses for now.
Which I definitely recommend as well.
Exactly. And once you feel, oh, okay, I have enough strength and enough energy, then you can try to attempt those poses. I definitely recommend doing the boats pose and this last pose that we just did. But the 3 difficult ones that we demonstrated, I would maybe pause for now. Yeah, and one day we will get to them.
Yeah, I just realized that I actually like the idea of having a beginner in the video, that I'm not used to see a setting like online. You see people mostly that can have, that actually embody all the perfect images already. And what I really like, the idea of seeing a beginner also struggling to just okay, she's struggling too, and she's not the perfect yoga teacher that can do everything. And a yoga teacher can tell you everything is alright, take your time, your limits, and what I really, really appreciate. But what I would love to see more in this world actually is to see beginners struggling or falling down to just be on one level with those and to be encouraged to do it as well, you know. So the range is not like, oh, she's so perfect, she's so yogi, but she's a beginner, she's the teacher, and they're learning. Yeah, that would be very nice. I would love to see that more.
Yeah, I like the idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you guys want to post some of your home practice videos and just tag us. That would be nice to see.
Let's not try to be perfect.
Exactly.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Imperfection.
Imperfection is the new perfect.
Yes.
Great. Well, have a lovely day and see you soon.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Have fun with your practice. Don't forget about that. Enjoy.